Mm. Jose Pena, the star of the Talk Show Podcast 2020.
Let's go.
Let's
What
go.
up?
We are sitting here today, and it's actually beautiful outside. You can't even
Yeah.
February. We're sitting
Super.
here today. It is February 13th, February 12th. Recording an episode that's going to air tomorrow. If you listen to this, it's today on self-discipline. Real quick, I want to give you the definition of self-discipline, and then we're going to go on and talk about it. So, self-discipline, the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses, the ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. A quick sentence on it. His observance of his diet was a show of tremendous willpower and self-discipline. So when we were just talking this morning, and I said, "Hey, man, a topic you want to discuss?" And you didn't hesitate. You put this right up. Was there something on your mind when you thought of this topic, or you just thought it was important?
No, I mean, I just thought like it was something we should talk about. Like, we like to laugh and joke around on stuff, but I feel like 2020, we're all trying to do big things, and
Right.
it's going to take a lot of self-discipline for everybody because everyone, everyone jokes like, 2020, I want to open a gym for the first 3 months and then shut it down because that's when everyone makes the money because everyone goes to the gym the first 3 months. Because
Right.
what is it? Everybody wants to be self-disciplined. They want to lose weight. They want to do this. They want to do that. And it's just if you're self-disciplined throughout the year, you can do what the hell you want. Like look at you, look at Josh. I'm trying to do the right thing. Nick does the right thing. Like we all fall off the wagon. I mean, exercise-wise, diet-wise, but we always say, you know what, let's get back on it. And like you said, you've been mentally tough where you stopped drinking for a month just to see if you could do it. And then you did it for 2 months. And it is what it is. It doesn't matter what you do. It's you yourself are only successful if you set goals and you stick to them. And goals is self-discipline. If you waver from the path that you're trying to go on, you're not going to get there. So how are we going to be successful with this podcast, with life, with anything, if you don't set goals and you don't stick to it and you hold yourself accountable? So self-discipline / accountability. And it's all about looking in the mirror. I mean, I just feel like 2020 was a big step, that I was trying to do personally, trying to keep up with you, trying to keep up with Josh, trying to keep up with Nick. Like we all had our own stuff going on and we were all venturing off into separate ways. We started me, Nick at one restaurant, as you started with Josh. And then Nick and I went to another restaurant and then I left, then Nick left. So like we all went our separate ways and we could have easily this could have went nowhere.
Right.
And we self-discipline where we're going to talk every week, numerous times a day. You, me, and Josh every morning text what things we're grateful for. So I mean, we're constantly in contact, and that's self-discipline. That's like, hey, you're getting up and 7:00, Josh is going to send what he's sending.
Right.
I know if I wake up before 7, I try to beat Josh. That's just my competitive spirit, and that's it. I mean, I'm just rambling, but that you have to set goals and you have to stick to them, and all those things lead to self-discipline. And you need to look in the mirror and say, why am I not where I'm supposed to be? And it's the person looking back at your face because you weren't disciplined enough in your goals and how you were trying to accomplish your goals to get that done.
So this is the most recent one that's happened for me, where I had to, and this is quickly. Some of these things don't happen overnight. It takes time and repetition and a mindset. But I've been bugging you guys to, hey, get me dating advice videos for our 2 cents. Get me Magic 8 Ball videos, whatever. And then I realized, I said, oh shit, Josh has the most dating videos. Jose did the first 8 Ball video. And I'm like, why am I asking these guys to do these things? And I can't find the time to do it myself. I can't be disciplined enough to sit down at my computer desk and record these videos. So I woke up this morning and I had an appointment really early with a bunch of contract, like too early. I should schedule later, but I want to get this stuff done. And you guys already beat me to what you're grateful for. And I said, all right, I got to start going. So I sat down, did 2 8 Ball videos this morning. I did 2 dating advice for the next couple of days. Josh sent me 2 yesterday. Like, come on, man. Like, let me catch up. But now I have to be more disciplined in my own routine to make sure if I'm asking you guys to do certain things, I got to make sure that I'm doing them also, if not first. So, that triggered in my head this morning before you even brought up the topic. Like, okay, Lenny, you need to be more disciplined on these things if you're asking these guys to do certain things. So I got ahead of the game a little bit this afternoon. I published one video. When people listen to this topic, I published one video on a YouTube channel yesterday. One is scheduled to be posted this morning. And it'll continue. I'll just do 3 or 4 a day. As you guys send them to me, I'll add them to the repertoire. We be more disciplined when it comes to when it comes to the top shelf and what we have and our expectations building for the future, right? Going forward. But a couple ways, let's talk about a couple things a couple examples of good, a couple examples of disciplines in our personal life, like waking up early. I think that all of us are pretty good at doing that. I
have no choice.
Yeah, you have kids. Josh has kids. I work
the kids are
for me. When I close the bar, I tend to sleep in a little bit when I don't have to work. Like tonight, I'm not working at the bar, so I'll be up early, maybe go to the gym or do something with my day job or the podcast, whatever. Make sure if you notice, the day that we are producing more social media content, it's usually the days that I don't work the night before, and we're up early and our brains are running at full function. But waking up early, I think we all do a pretty good job of that. We're all disciplined when it comes to that part. Respecting our parents. You two have, a different choice than I do. My father lives in Portugal. My mother passed away. You speak to your father very often.
And both parents every other day.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I know for a fact how much you appreciate the shit out of them. Like, you speak about your parents, and this isn't a knock on you, more than any of my friends ever have, right? And that's fantastic. And then, one big one is, we talk about this all the time, is reducing the feeling of jealousy towards others, and the judgment of others. Where, listen, we're humans. When someone does something stupid, or wear a funny outfit, or we still say something, or we comment towards each other. We don't treat that person any differently, right? We're disciplined enough to know that we're still human beings, and we're going to say something. We might joke about, like, oh, that guy has a light up beanie and is wearing earmuffs. It doesn't mean I'm going to treat Joe any differently than you would. We're just disciplined enough to know that we're nice people. And, if Joe's driving a Bentley and I drive my 2000 Lexus, I'm not jealous of Joe. I'm happy for Joe. Would I like to be driving a Bentley? Sure. But I've built this discipline in myself over the last year and a half, where I'm now happy for people who have achieved things that they wanted to get, and I'm not judgmental towards them anymore. Or it's more happiness towards them. And I think that's it's a discipline that all 4 of us have really developed over the last year or so, 2 years, since we've really we've always been friends, but like close friends. And then enjoying life to the fullest. It doesn't mean leaving your troubles behind or whatever. Like, we're all going to have troubles and financial woes, or your septic tank needs to be fixed, which costs an abundance amount of money. I deal with shitty contractors on a daily basis. Like, those things suck, but we've made it a point to make sure that we're always currently enjoying life as much as possible, even with all that crap happening to us on a daily basis. And then, last but not least, is just loving ourselves, because if we don't love ourselves first, we can't protrude that love onto anyone else.
Amen. Listen, we've been through a lot of shit, all of us. We have our own story. You posted that story that I put on the blog and stuff like that. Like, we all have different backgrounds and different ethnicities and different types of stuff that we're dealing with. But great. But we work hard so that when we're together, we enjoy life. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff, like, you're in Pawtucket, I'm in Wayland. We're doing our own thing today. I just got back from Aiden's swim class and buying something for my brother for his birthday. You got a bunch of shit to do after this. I got to go pick up Avery. Like, it's day-to-day life. But when we get together, we know we slow it down. We
Right.
eat dinner, we break bread, we talk about life, we talk about our families, and then we do a podcast.
Mhm.
So, we work hard to play hard and party hard, and that's what I think is part of my self discipline. Is that like I'm consistently always either doing something with the kids or something with the house or something at work. My cell phone's always going off, all that type of stuff. That when it's time to sit down and like enjoy people, I don't look at my phone as much anymore. And
Right.
I
Yeah.
made that clear when I left the last place that we all worked, and how much I was under a microscope and how much I was answering my phone and
Right.
talking to people. I said, my next job, regardless, I'm gonna not be that person anymore. I'm not gonna be as angry. I'm not gonna be as available to people. Like, I'll do what I need to do. Like, if a shift pops up on their schedule thing, I'll approve it. But I'm not answering my phone at all times unless it's a manager and there's an emergency. But if
Right.
an employee texts me later, you know what I mean? I'll text you in the morning or whatever. I'm not looking at my phone as much because it's taken away from my family time, and that's just not right. And I'm not going to be one of those fathers or brothers or friends that you're at my house and I'm constantly on the phone. I don't believe in that anymore. And I just think now that I'm 40 and I have a new outlook on life, and it's just like I have too much other stuff going on that I have to focus continually on work. I love my job. I love my job. I love the company now that I work for. I
Right.
only have to answer to one person, maybe two once in a while. Um, but it's a restaurant, and there's a million other restaurants out there.
Right.
Not one that's 7 minutes from my house or 10 minutes from my house, but like I was upfront and truthful. I was like, I want to spend more time with my family, and you're only 10 minutes from my house. My other job was 30, so if you want me to be on board, let's do it. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So that 20 minutes may affect my kids being in bed when I get home or them still being up. You know what I mean? So, I, you know, I reflected and said, I'm going to make personal decisions now instead of just chasing the money. Because we all know before I left our previous companies, I went to you, who was my boss at the time, and said, they offered me a lot of money to go to another place, a lot of money, but
Yeah.
I'm going to have to work the whole summer and be away from my family. What do you think I should do? And you said, well,
Wasn't
is it
worth
worth
it.
it? Right. And, after we did everything, I pros and cons and stuff like that, I decided not to do it. And they've already gone through 4 general managers in the restaurant they wanted me to work. So I was like, yeah, that's
Probably
good.
would have been one of them, baby.
Right. So I made a good decision, but you have to reflect on that stuff. It's not always about the money. It's about your family time and about missing the kids and stuff like that. I don't want to be that dad that's like, yeah, I didn't get to take Aiden to basketball practice or Avery to dance. I'm just not that person. And I don't want to be that person. So um yeah, after self-reflection and self perseverance, I just like I'm going to take time for me, you know what I mean? Like that's why I meditate, 10 to 15 minutes before I start my day or when I end my day, just to decompress before hitting the real world or shutting my eyes, you know what I mean? Like either putting the day to rest or starting the day, either way. But you just need a quiet time. Everyone who has kids, just drink a cup of coffee, drop them off at school, go to Dunks, sit down for 10 minutes. Call work. I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm stuck in traffic. Okay, it's a
Right.
little bit of a lie, but at least you get that quiet time. You know what I mean? You need it. And if you're working 2 jobs, in between jobs, take a nap, relax. I know a lot of people that work for me that work 2 jobs. They leave their other job, they come here straight to my place, and they're asleep in the parking lot.
Right.
I've had to go knock on the window, be like, hey, you're 20 minutes late for work. Oh, I got on my other job. I get it. Like, are you good? All right, let's go. Let's go serve some people.
Right.
But, I'm just not that jerk anymore. I'd be like, what? You're 20 minutes late. Why are you late? I don't care about your other job. I'm worried about this one. But, people have other stuff, get divorced, have 2 kids and by themselves. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? You're nonstop. And trust me, a 6 and a 4-year-old, like, we're nonstop going. And I'm so much more compassionate to people now with children as I wasn't before. I was like, yeah, whatever, kids, whatever. Like, we're all gonna have kids. Get over it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it's now like, oh shoot, Avery's sick. Who's gonna stay home with him? And I'm like, holy crap, this is what everyone was telling me when I was a 22-year-old manager in a hotel. I was like, I get it now. So I try to, you mature and you self-reflect over your years and your age, and here you are.
So whatever discipline you're trying to achieve or master or whatever, um, there has to be a reason why you want to do this, right? So you have to find your motivation towards quitting drinking, like Josh, or being a more compassionate, losing weight, being a more compassionate boss, being a more empathetic friend. there has to be a motivation why you want to develop these disciplines, right? So I guess the first question I want to ask you is, how do you get motivated to start? Let's just pick I don't care. Pick anything that you're trying to work on. You don't have to be you, but just in general, pick an example of like, how do you start to even get motivated? How do you start to get motivated? What's that trigger in your mind that says, okay, this is the moment, or this is the reason that I want to quit drinking, right? I want to be disciplined enough to spend Sundays with my father and have breakfast with him every Sunday morning. How do I find that motivation?
Honestly, all of that type of stuff where you have to set goals are one of two things. You're either trying to get a lot of money because you feel like you're broke, or you've hit rock bottom. Something has happened. It's life altering. Like you said, your dad every Sunday. What happened? Why all of a sudden now that you're 25 or 30 or 40 that you want to start seeing your dad every Sunday? He's always been there for most people. Why now? Did he have health problems? Is he in a different state and then he moved back, like a different country, and now he's moved back, or you moved back to that country? Like, it's always rock bottom. For me, it was like I was working too much at my last job. I was under a lot of stress. We couldn't find a lot of help. And the people above me just didn't care because the money just kept coming in, and they didn't care how much we worked, who worked that much, and what was going on. So it came to a time where it was like, all right, well, it's my physical well-being and everyone in this building's physical well-being, or it's me, or the job. And I was just like, I gotta go. Right. You know what I mean? It's taking an effect on me. It's taking an effect on my home life. It's taking an effect on everything, and it's just not fair to people for me to be half-ass. And that's what I feel like. I wasn't half-ass at the last job, but like a lot of the stuff that I wouldn't have let go, I let go because we need to keep people in the building, and that's just not something that we should be focused on. And the same thing in your personal life. Like, you shouldn't half-ass or three-quarters something. Like, you're either in it, or you either love that person or you don't, or you either want to be with your children or you don't. Like, I don't respect parents walking out of their children's lives. Like, I can't fathom not waking up and seeing my kids every day. But that's all I've known. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I've known in the 6 years Avery's been here. Is I've always woken up and I've always gone to bed with her in the house. Unless, there's one off, so you're away for the weekend or for the night or whatever, partying in Pawtucket with you. But it's everything. People start goals. Like, why did we start losing weight? Because you randomly saw a picture of you when you were skinny, and then you saw a picture of you that somebody took when you were in Westboro and you thought you were fat. I'm going to start losing weight. Josh stopped drinking, and he needed something to take his aggression out on, and he needed something to keep his mind right. He started working out. Me, I hurt my knee, and I said, God damn it, playing basketball, trying to be better. I hurt my knee, and for 2 years I fell into a funk. And I started playing golf, and that's when I drove one right up you and Mark's ass. And then and then I quit that, and now I'm back. And but it's just like I started working out again, and down whatever I am now, and then it's just like Nick, he was in a bad spot at our last job. He was like, I got to get out of here. I'm going on vacation. Like, he was aiming for that vacation. He went through a lot of shit in his personal life, but he's come out the other end stronger. And he's at a new job. He's got a new place. Like, he's at a new beginning. That's one of the things I'm grateful for. I was like, new beginnings, new week. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that's bothering you, it's short term. Unless you let it be long term, that's on you. Like, you have to decide, holy shit, I don't have any money. Well, why don't you have any money? Did you go to eat? Instead of going to Ruth Chris or Capital Grill, did you go to Subway? Save you $60 there. Instead of going to see your boy an hour away, did they come to you, or did you meet in the middle? Like, save money on gas. Instead of Ubering, don't drink as much and drive. Or don't drink and drive. You know what I mean? Right. Like, there's ways you can get around that stuff for not having money. There's all types of stuff, but self awareness and preservation and discipline, it usually starts with something in your life that you're not happy with, or something happened like life altering. And like this whole thing with Kobe, God rest his soul, and all the other people that were on that helicopter, the other 8 people that were with him on that helicopter. Like, everyone's like, oh, I got to make up with everybody now. Why? Like, I get the sentiment, but like, why did it take someone famous to die for you to realize that you should be nice to your brother? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're on this podcast. I say, hey, yeah, I love you. We talk on the phone. I love you, Nick. Well, you know, good looks. I appreciate you. Like, I love you. Like, I
Yep.
say I love you a lot. Like, even
Yep.
to my employees at work, I'm like, hey, good job today. I appreciate you. Get home safe. Drive safe. Like, I
Right.
shouldn't have to wait for someone that I know to die to be
Right.
like, oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god, I'm
Right.
gonna end my beef. If you're that mad at that person, then just tell them to fuck off. Don't tell them to come back in your life. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like if something's that drastic that you guys aren't getting along, why carry that negative energy? Either you make up for it then or in a week. After a week, let it go. And if you can't let it go, then it's something that's bigger and don't carry that negative energy. Have the self-discipline to move on and don't wait for a Kobe incident.
You said two things that completely stuck out to me. You said a lot of things that stuck out to me, but two biggest things I picked up on. You mentioned you playing basketball, so I encourage you to go watch the YouTube video I put up today
Saw
because
that. Yes, I saw that. You wise
uh,
ass.
which is funny. And number two, as many times as we've talked about it, self-awareness is the beginning of being self-disciplined. If you know that you need to get better in a certain department of your life, like friendships, right? You say it to me all the time. You've been saying to me once a month since I've known you, I never burn bridges. I never burn bridges. I never burn bridges. Um, because you are just genuinely a nice guy. You like to keep these business relationships going. And you're just a nice guy. Not that you have to be best friends with everyone, but you're not a dick to where if you don't see, Carl anymore, like, oh, you don't write off Carl because you guys went in separate directions in your life. You always enjoyed Carl's company and Carl always enjoyed your company. So you just never wrote him off completely or, badmouth Carl at the end of the day. Like you were always good with never, ever. And dude, you have more connections and more friends. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, right. He doesn't have this connection. And then you get us on the floor at the Celtics game, right? It's shit like that. Like, oh, I got connections at Mohegan Sun. And then you make it happen. You got connections to the hotel. Then you make it happen. You were always true to your word. You always were loyal to the people you've built relationships with, right? You were self-aware that this is the way that your life should be. You should be happy, kind, and loyal to the people that matter to you or the people that you've met in your life. And that's fantastic. But self-awareness, I was aware that I needed to lose weight. Oh, you cut out a little bit. There you
Sorry.
go. You were aware. I was aware that I needed to lose weight. So I started a regimen at the gym. I bounced it off Josh first. I watched Josh do it. Josh was aware that he had a huge drinking problem and he's not shy about it. So we talk about it all the time because he will be the first one to educate, coach, and counsel anyone who needs some help. He was aware he had a drinking problem and it was affecting his home life. And he created these disciplines, whether it was, meditation, gym routine, being more a loving husband or a loving father. He created these disciplines in his life to make sure that alcohol was not going to consume him anymore. So being self-aware is the first step to creating these disciplines. And if you think I'm not talking to you, but in general, if you're listening to this show and you think, he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, try it. Try it without realizing that you need to fix something first. You can't just wake up in the morning and say, oh, I should, I'm going to start meal prepping every day. Why the fuck are you meal prepping every day? Tell me why you're meal prepping every day. Is there a reason why you want to meal prep every day? Or are you just doing it because you saw someone on YouTube doing it? What the hell does meal prepping have to do with your life? Before you can figure out why you want to meal prep, you have to tell yourself, why am I meal prepping for me? There's a reason why I want to meal prep for me. The reason why you want to quit smoking or quit drinking or stop doing drugs or have a better relationship with your wife. Like, why do you want to have a better relationship with your wife for you? And then what are the steps to build those disciplines up? Just waking up and saying, today I'm going to buy my wife roses. Why are you going to buy your wife roses? Were you an asshole for the last 30 years and now you want to buy your wife roses? What is the reason you have to build those disciplines up? And are you okay? Now I'm asking you, are you okay with asking for help to build up these disciplines? Or do you feel like I'm not going to judge you, Josh and Nick aren't going to judge you, but you feel like if you went to whoever, your brother, do you feel like he would judge you if you asked him for help in a certain area that you were trying to
No,
be
I
more?
mean, I feel like my inner circle. If I went to them, I mean, if I'm going to you with a problem or a question, then I'm assuming you're going to be truthful with me and tell me the truth.
Right.
Like you always say, like I tell you the truth. Like I do. Like I tell everybody I
Yeah.
hire is like, if you don't want to know the answer, don't ask the question.
Right.
So I'll ask the people that I know have some type of experience or knowledge of what's going on and what I need help with, and I ask.
Mhm.
And I wait for the answer whether I want to hear it or not, and we move forward. It's same thing at work, same thing with personal life. It's like, hey, what can I do? Like you and Josh started the intermittent fasting when we were in Westboro together, and I was like, what the
Right.
fuck's that about? And we did that for 2 weeks, and I didn't have any self discipline. We did the Biggest Loser or whatever for weight
Right.
for what
Right.
was that 2 months, and it's like everyone was disciplined for that 2 months. And then as soon as that was up, and they realized that they didn't win, they were back to drinking every day and eating whatever the hell they wanted. It's like, so you had good self discipline for 2 months. Like, what's that do you in the long run?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're back to
At
square
that
one.
point, you're just doing it because
You
it's
want
like when people go to the gym January 1st. They don't really want to go to the gym. They ate a lot during the holidays and they know that's what people do. And they think, New Year's resolution, better me, better you, 2021, whatever. Like, come on, go to the gym, make it a routine, have a reason why you go to the gym. Don't just do it because it's the in thing to do in 2000, January 1st, 2020. Like, just have a reason for wanting to get healthy, wanting to lose weight. You might not go to lose weight. You might just go because you want to take out some aggression. You just want some time away from home, and that just is your outlet instead of going to the bar or going to whatever. Like, if I go to the gym, I can take out some aggression. I get to get away from my kids for an hour. I get to reflect on my day, unwind a little bit. If you're in the restaurant business, unwinding to you is leaving work and going to a bar, having a couple cocktails. That's unwinding if you've ever been in the restaurant business, right?
for
The
sure.
gym, the gym has become that outlet for me, for Josh. And now you're starting to really get into a habit. Yeah, you're not going to the gym, but you're working out at home almost every day, right? I don't go to the gym every day, Jose. We have lives, like things happen, but that's our
Right.
outlet now. Will we go out to eat and have cocktails, and will we party sometimes? Of course we will. Absolutely. You know,
Right.
and is Josh there to make sure that when we party safe? Of course he is. But we're disciplined enough to know that we need to work out to to better our lives, to be more healthy. We use that as our outlet. We take some aggression out. We clear our minds, and slightly there's a competition between all of us. We all might not want to admit it, but we have a small competition, which is a healthy competition. And I don't, Josh. Going back to the question, am I afraid of judgment of others if I ask them for help? Josh helped me go to the gym. You helped me in certain aspects of my professional career. And I'm sure I helped both you guys and Nick, all that stuff. Like, no, I'm not
Absolutely.
scared to ask.
Absolutely.
Am I more intimidated to say, hey, I need to borrow $100? I'd be a little more ashamed of that than I would be to say, hey, you meditate daily. Can you teach me how to meditate? Josh, how did you stop drinking? Carlos, who the fuck is Carlos? But Carlos, how did you quit smoking? Whatever the case may be. I'm not embarrassed to ask people those questions as much I would be to ask you, like, I had to borrow Josh's car, I don't know, in October. I banged up my car. I had to borrow Josh's car for a couple months. He didn't even blink twice that he lend me his car. He was like, yeah, you're my best friend. Like, take whatever you need. Like, take my house. I don't care. But to me, I was a little embarrassed that I need to ask Josh, to use his car for the month. And to him, he just brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. But as a stubborn Portuguese male, like, I had a little bit of pride. But no, I would never ask. I would never be ashamed to ask anyone to help me improve my life, to set these disciplines up. As we start to wind down here, just one more thing I want to touch on is how you view your successes and failures when you start setting these goals, right? How long does it take to you to say, okay, this was a success, and how quickly do you realize, like, hey, I cannot do this. This is a failure. Is there a time frame, or do you say, I'm not failing and I'm going to push through it? Or you just realize, like, okay, maybe I'm not the best Olympic swimmer, and maybe I should stop swimming and try to find something else. Or in your case, you're not the best basketball player, and maybe you should stop playing basketball.
You just love saying that to me, huh?
Yes.
Love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I set goals, and either you get there or you don't, but just trying is more of a success instead of just sitting on your laurels and not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, you want to lose weight. Well, okay, when you get home from work, do you sit on the couch and watch TV, or do you go downstairs and walk for half an hour or an hour?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, it's one less show you watch, but hey, it's one less show towards your goal. You know what I mean? Then maybe the next week it's 2 shows and it's an hour. And then maybe, after that it's 2 hours and 4 shows or whatever it is, or 2, whatever it is. And it's short but sweet. And I start with a long-term goal, and then in between there I have little goals. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do this week, and then next week I'm going to up it a little bit, and then you get until where you need to get to for your long-term goals, and then simple. That's it. And that's for everything. Everything.
That's how we're going to end it. That's the perfect way to do it. Set goals, start small, build them up to bigger goals. Jose,
and
you see the 8 ball, baby?
Yeah.
Dude,
I got some questions for the 8 ball for sure. Don't you worry.
My questions were great. I'm gonna ask the 8 ball a question right now. Listen, if anybody doesn't know the 8 ball, we have a new YouTube channel out. It's Be the Top Shelf YouTube channel, but we have a new set of videos every day. We post 2 to 3 questions that we ask the Magic 8 ball, and the 8 ball answers it. Hey, listen, and the 8 ball decides our fate that day. I'm gonna ask a question right now.
Oh boy.
Are you gonna have an amazing day, Jose? Oh, don't answer it. Let it answer it. That wasn't the answer I wanted. Damn 8 ball. You may rely on it. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Hey,
Love
enjoy your date night.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Be good.
All right. Later.
Later.